This week has actually been like a rather interesting week for me because of work and then coming home and doing some more work and just been active with so many things. And this week I kind of really dedicated myself to making sure I do spend time on my business. And I actually have been reading this book, and it's a really good book, by the way, and it's called The E-Myth by Mr. Michael Gerber. And I just finished reading this part, and he was talking about, he said, the true question is how small, the question is not how small a business should be, but how big. How big can your business naturally become, with the operative word being naturally? Because whatever the size is, any limitation you place on its growth is unnatural, shaped not by the market or by your lack of capital, even though that may play a part, but by your own personal limitations, your lack of skill, knowledge, experience, and most of all, passion for growing a healthy, functional, dynamic, extraordinary business. And that's interesting just for me because this week has been like a really a test for me, or not even really a test, but a revelation of, as far as what I want to do with my business and how do I want things to go, and how I want things to grow. And for myself, when he talks about the personal limitations, this week I actually been putting limitations on myself. Not this week, but just in the past, based off of the fact that I didn't do, I wasn't acting in what I wanted to do. I was just kind of acting in the sense of what it looks like. And I also would place limitations on myself based off of the doubts that I had, talking about whether I have the right credentials, or whether people would support me, or whether people would see things like I see it, and all these other reasons. And it really just came to a point where I just, especially this week, and it may sound kind of crazy, but I was just like, I just reached a point where no excuses, right? Like, I looked at just my life in general and everything that I have going on and everything that I have going for me and in support of me. I really reached no excuses as to why I'm not where I need to be or want to be. And I was placing limitations based off of so many different reasons. Again, just because whether I thought people wouldn't believe in me, or whether I felt like I had something to prove, or whether I felt like I didn't have enough credentials. And then this week, I kind of just been going through the list of my credentials and my past and my experiences and knowledge and the skills that I've had. And I'm able now to really just work a lot freer, to be real with you. That's just the honest. I work so much more freer, and how it's just changed my mind. Because me in working freer, I recognize that I have no excuses, and it cut out a lot of the things that I thought that I needed during the day to pass the time, or I just felt like I needed in my life, like watching sports talk, right? Like, it didn't matter. Like, sitting there listening to people talk about sports for like 20 minutes or 15 minutes just wasn't needed. It didn't add anything to my life. And sadly, it didn't take away. So that means it still took away. And so, I guess that's another way I can say, like, if it doesn't add anything, and even if it doesn't take away, it's technically still taking away if it doesn't add anything. And I probably just said that the same exact way, but it's whatever. But that's just where I've been. And so it's really interesting just to be in that place in life, and then just come and read this book as far as the limitations in relation to the fact of having my own business, where I do so many things, from the conversation training to the voiceover and video production, and so many more things that's coming later on, because it is growing naturally. And it's growing naturally because the entrepreneur in me is able to think about certain things and what I do naturally as a human being, and how I can apply that to business. So I'm very excited about just life, where is it going, and the direction that it is going in, and the vehicles by which I get to drive in those directions, I think is amazing. And one of those, of course, is business. I love business. I've always been around it based off of my mom and so many other experiences in life. So I'm very excited and about the future, and what's not only just the future, but even more learning just to enjoy what's taking place right now in my life. So I just wanted to just talk. Again, this is just a video blog, and I didn't say this in the beginning. It's just a video journal blog that I just want to put out and just share what I'll be thinking sometimes. I think I'm overly private. A lot of the times, the most private, the most open you'll get is in my music. And so this is just another way for me to just share my thoughts, especially when it comes to business and marketing and so many other things. So I just want to share my thoughts about my life in relation to business and other things. So yeah.